Hi, everybody. Craig Shacklett from URComped here. I've got a very special guest. It is Steve from Low Budget High Roller, but also from High Roller Poker, which is caught fire. It's growing like crazy. I know Tyler in our office is a huge fan of High Roller Poker, and you've got 100. How many subs do you have now on Low Budget High Roller? 170.
I think 100,000, something like that, and growing.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, millions of views a week and all that. Kind of crazy.
It is. Well, why don't we lead off by how do people find you? Tell us the coordinates of all your channels.
Yeah, sure. Just Low Budget High Rollers. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of it. I think my Instagram, there was kind of an issue. I think you have to leave like an underscore or something. If you just type in Low Budget High Rollers, it should come up. But there was one that was like an older one that wouldn't come up for some reason. But yeah.
Got it. Okay. And so tell us, how did this get started? How did you decide to start a channel and put out some content?
It's actually pretty crazy, actually, because I actually never gambled when I was younger. And my mom she gambles quite a bit. She even still gambles, which is a crazy story. But she told me, she's like, I'll try to make this as short as possible because it's a long story, like very long drawn out story. But yeah, she actually told me, she's like, oh, just come over to Chumash with me, and gamble. And I was like, no, like I don't like losing money. That's not my thing. And I was like, all right. I was like, I'll break $300. I was like, if I lose it, I'll never play again. And pretty much that changed my life, which is crazy because I could have went one way or the other, So, and we actually won. I won like 4,000 or 5,000 the very first time I played. Yeah, no, I was playing lower bets too. That's what was crazy. They're like, gotcha, kind of reeled me in. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like I actually started playing there, and it first started, we play, every once in a while, maybe once a month or so. But I kept winning and more and more. And then I realized if I started betting higher, that actually it's much more advantageous for me. So actually I started betting higher and higher, and it just went crazy and started getting a host, and they started giving me all these comps, and I kind of got addicted to it. I was like, wow, like in a good way, not in a, like, oh, I'm losing all my money and this and that way. Because I was playing, very smart and, not, spending over my head or anything that I couldn't, afford to lose. And then yeah, it's crazy. I started that way and started filming it on Snapchat first, and people were like, oh, they're like, you're filming on Snapchat, you're getting all these views and everything, they're like, why don't you throw it on YouTube? And I was like, never thought of that. I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot. The very first video I posted, it actually went viral. And that doesn't really happen. Like usually, like even new slot channels and everything, like if you go down to my very first video, I think even now it has like, I think 400, 500,000 views or something. Yeah, it went viral like right off the bat. I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. And yeah, that kind of just got me started and everything. And yeah, it kind of sucked. A lot happened in between because COVID hit, and no one could go to the casinos and everything else. So
well, that sounds like it's been your destiny. I mean, the first time you go gamble, you win big, and the first video you post, it goes viral. So what was special about that first video?
The very first video, I'm not sure exactly. I don't know why it hit so well. I mean, maybe it was the personality or whatnot. I mean, we were pretty much just in there, just having fun. And I think I played, at that time I was playing $50 a spin, and I got a 5,000. That's probably what it was. I got a $5,000 ball, but it looks like, because it's on $10 or 10-cent denomination, it looks like maybe 500,000 or whatnot. So maybe that was it. But I don't know. It happened and it worked. So
that's wild. So obviously that one, I mean, that probably put some wind in your sails, right? You're just getting started, and all of a sudden
absolutely. It really kind of opened the door, and I was like, oh wow, because I wanted to be actually a fitness influencer. Like that was kind of my thing. I had no urge to do anything to do with gambling, and yeah, it just kind of just changed my path completely. And I was like, okay, well, this is working, so let's just keep this going. And I really enjoy it now. It's kind of crazy, but.
So were you already putting out fitness content before you went on this path?
Yeah, if you look at my Instagram, like all the first videos are like me, like my fitness journey and losing weight. I was actually like pretty overweight for a while, and I'm still heavy because obviously I'm a big guy, I'm 6'5". So, but yeah, I lost a lot of body fat and everything and all that good stuff, and so I kind of turned that into a fitness channel, and then it went from that, and I was like, what, I'll just use the same channel. I already have all the different subscribers on there, so I might as well just use that channel, and just kind of carried it over.
That's wild. So do you remember the first time that you were recognized in real life by a fan?
Yeah, I believe it was over at Shumash, and it was really surreal. It's like it actually happens all the time now, which is kind of crazy. Like we get noticed over at Vaughn's, which is insane because I know it sounds crazy
Bonds like the
because
supermarket for people that don't
yeah,
know.
because I don't know if you've seen the recent videos, but we're actually up over $100,000 at Vaughn's. So for this last year, yeah, it was crazy. We put 1.2 in and we came out with 1.3 at the end of the year, which is insane. And I'm actually going to do like a sponsorship with them and all that. It's actually coming up from me playing there. They're like, hey, let's try to get some of our money back. But yeah, it's crazy. And this is all slots too. That's what's the craziest thing about it. It's like the odds are kind of against you at somewhat at least. I mean, not too much against us, but yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, no, at Vaughn's, there'll be people who come up all the time now, and they're like, oh, we watch you, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. You live right down the street. It's
That
like,
is nuts.
yeah,
So tell us, so you have low budget high roller, which is your bigger channel, but tell us
right.
about high roller poker and how you decided to launch that.
Yeah, no, we just started because I always played on the tables from the beginning because I'm all into statistics and everything, and just trying to basically win money, not necessarily going there just to gamble and lose it all. Like I want to win, and all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, that's how we've done it. So I mean, I looked into poker and I got really good at it. And I'd walk away with, 50, 60, $70,000 with only bringing $1,000 there. So I was like, okay, I need to make a channel of this. Because like no one's gonna believe this if I just tell them. But hey, now I got footage of it and people actually see it. And I'm like, yeah, I started with 1,000 and turn it into X amount. So, but yeah, no, I love the tables. I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. I love poker. Ultimate Texas Hold'em is my absolute favorite. That's my go-to. But I pretty much played all. But
And so what's it been like getting approval at these casinos to film? I imagine when you first started, maybe you got permission, maybe not, but as you've grown, especially transitioning to tables, what's that been like for you? Just getting the again, I guess permission from casinos.
yeah, definitely. The local casinos was actually easier, of course, obviously the smaller casinos in the beginning. And then once I started, kind of getting momentum and everything and views and everything, people started knowing who I was. Then we started filming at MGM, which I believe, I'm not entirely sure, but they told me that I was literally the only influencer that's ever filmed over at MGM. But you got the proper, okay, on the tables, not on the slots. There's tons of on the slots. But if you look on the internet, I don't think you'll find anyone who played at the MGM besides us.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah, they gave us permission and maybe it was the limits we played and all that. I don't know. Maybe they just liked us. I have no idea. It actually all got shut down from I don't know, something happened over at MGM. But yeah, kind of everyone got screwed on the MGM properties to film and all that. But now it's coming back.
Nice.
But yeah.
So as you got a growing audience, and how do you think your videos have shifted people's perceptions of different table games or properties or slots? Like how have you heard feedback from your audience that like, oh, I saw you doing something and now XYZ. So maybe you could talk about that.
Well, see, so I started with slots and everything, and then came up with my table channel, and all the people who would play slots, they would start watching the table channel, and they're like, "This is awesome." They're like, "This is a lot more fun than slots." And I know a lot of people that actually switch from slots over to tables and then kind of go back and forth. So it's like, yeah, I definitely influenced them for sure. It's like hopefully in the right way, not into lose money or anything, but.
So talk about like where you see casinos and like how do you think the industry will embrace or react to influencer the next several years? Where do you see the industry going?
I think it's going to be a big change. I think casinos are seeing more and more how, obviously, hence influential, influencers are, to actually for everything. Not just casinos, but just, larger, like for instance, let's take Mr. Beast. I'm not sure if but he's actually coming out with a show on Amazon. So it's like he actually got a whole huge deal, like one of the largest in the world actually they've ever done for a game show. And he's like breaking all the records and everything. It's gonna be insane. But he's actually kind of taking it from the YouTube and putting it over, to Amazon, not to where it's, everyone kind of tells him what to do and everything. Like he has complete control, which is pretty awesome. And I think that you're gonna see a lot more of that especially with casinos and, different, all the, just media and everything in general, which is, they're really starting to see that, hey, YouTube and everything, like for instance, like Mr. Beast, he gets more views than the freaking than the Super Bowl. So it's like, and that's like one platform. So it's like it's insanity.
Yep.
So I mean, it'd be kind of foolish for them to not follow suit and see how influential influencers are, But
And what advice would you give to casinos that are, maybe haven't done anything with influencers yet, but they may be watching this interview and they're like, what, we want to get into it. What would be some things that they could do to set them up for success with influencer marketing?
oh, they're missing out if they're not. It's like, yeah, no, I'm getting a ton of offers from different casinos and all that kind of stuff now too. So it's like, yeah, no, definitely they need to jump on it if they're not doing it, because I mean, it's a great, form of advertising and marketing. And a lot of influencers just want to go in there just to film. Like for starters, in the beginning, we'd go in there, and film for free, and it's like that's free marketing. So it's like it would be, obviously it's super advantageous for a casino because constantly all of us who are slot channels and everything will be filming, and everyone will ask in the comments, oh, where did you play, especially if you hit something big. It's like if we hit, and usually, I mean, we're filming, if we hit, if we don't lose, or if we lose, I mean, yeah, sometimes we'll post those losing videos, but they don't do as well. So it's like the winning videos are the ones that hit, so everyone comments on those and it's like, oh, where did you win, it's, oh, I went to here, so it's definitely good advertising.
And so let's say they invite you in. What are some things that they do that casinos that do it well do to make it a good experience for you and make sure you can produce the best content possible?
Of course, take care of you. I mean, as an influencer or as a player?
I mean, really both. Yeah. So like, do you like having an area like slot machines kind of roped off, or like
No, not
Yeah.
really. I mean, that kind of burns out other people too. It's like I'm pretty much there. I mean, hey, if you want to come up, you want to stand behind you, that's fine, but you're gonna be on camera. So it's like it doesn't bother me at all. It's more so just whether people, are actually seeing, the camera, and some people they see the light and everything, like, oh, I'm not gonna walk over there, that kind of thing. I mean, the more they give and everything, as far as free play and amenities and all that kind of stuff, I mean, the better, of course. And that's pretty much with anyone, I'm sure. It's like the more you're going to get, of course, you're going to go. And on the flip side, the more that casinos give, the more they'll receive.
Mhm.
It goes, both ways.
And I imagine now you've been to a lot of different casinos. Are there any certain types of amenities or perks that you really love personally as a player?
Yeah, I love it all, actually. I mean, I love the food. It's like, it's not a rough life, it really isn't. I mean, of course, like when you're down in the dumps and you're losing, I mean, it is gambling at the end of the day. But I mean, it definitely helps to mitigate those losses, when you walk into a, penthouse suite or something and feels amazing, and, it really makes you feel like someone, and go eat steak and lobster. And then, it's like crazy. The free play is insane too, a lot of places, it's pretty much everything. It's like they know what they're doing, but for the most
Yep.
part, maybe just give a little bit more possibly. But
And then let's talk about obviously there's some bad apples in the influencer industry that maybe have slowed down adoption. So if there are any, I mean, what would you say are some common concerns casinos may have about bringing influencers in, and what can they do to kind of mitigate those risks? Maybe it's something in
right,
the agreement up front, or yeah, what can you say to casinos that like, hey, here's what some may be worried about, and here's how you can kind of prevent bad things from happening.
right. I won't mention specific channels, obviously,
Sure.
for
Yep.
obvious reasons. But yeah, there are channels that go there and they say, it's like they have these bulletproof plans of, like, like, oh, you can go here, you can pay me X amount of money, I'll bring you here to the casino and you'll win X amount of money, which just doesn't happen. It's like it's a numbers game, it's statistics, it's everything under the sun, so it's like that's just not true. Like for instance, we have something I call like the $300 method, but I'm very clear about it to everyone, like, hey, like I make a joke about I don't know if you've seen Anchorman, but he says
Yeah.
like, oh, 60% of the time it works every time.
Yeah.
That line,
Black
that's
Panther.
exactly
Yeah.
what I say. Like, so it's like, hey, like, just because this happens, because there's a lot of times I'll go into the casino and it happens quite frequently, but not enough to where I'd be like, okay, hey, this is a bulletproof plan, let's go and do this. But I'll come in, I'll put $300 in, and sometimes I'll even play $100 spins. And within those 3 spins, I'll get, this crazy jackpot. You know, it's like, and people be like, oh, you loaded it and you did this and that. And I'm like, no, it's like 100% this happened, but does it happen every time? Absolutely not. You know, so it's like, and that's kind of the thing, like when the influencers take it too far and, you know, they start promising things or not and get people into trouble and thinking, you know, they can go in and, you know, gamble their life away. And, you know, it's like, oh, they're down to their last dollar and, oh, let's go gamble it and let's see if we can't turn it to $2. And that doesn't work.
So if a casino is watching this, they're like, you know, I want to bring in low budget high rollers. What should they one look forward to, and then two, how can they get a hold of you?
They can contact me through email, you know, fsc.incd or at gmail.com. That's one thing. It's on, if you look on any of the videos, just look in the description and it's always in there and all that. It's pretty simple to get a hold of me if you really want to. But yeah, no, just pretty much we could actually, you know, contact and actually talk about, you know, like I said, a ton of different, you know, casinos are actually contacting us. We've actually worked with well, I don't know if I'll name names. I guess I will. For one is Resorts World. So they put us on the side of the building and all that stuff and did the whole nine. And yeah, a ton of other different casinos, you know, smaller ones and everything. But that's probably like the largest one. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be a trip, huh? Seeing yourself on the side of a building.
Yeah, no, it was pretty surreal. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
So what are you most excited about with I would say your channel, but your channels over the next 12 months?
Yeah, just growing, you know, and just, you know, we're growing exponential, and that's how exponential growth works. You know, 1 becomes 2 and 2 becomes 4 and 16, 32, 16, 48, you know, all that. You know, that's exactly how exponential growth works. And that's exactly what we're doing. You know, it's like, especially in this field, you know, it's like one viewer tells one viewer and it just keeps growing. So, you know, all the growth and especially sponsorships and a lot of things in the work.
That's amazing. Well, I know we gave your coordinates at the start of the show, but why don't we give it one more time for folks? If they want to watch your videos, follow you. How do they find you?
Absolutely. Yeah, just go to Low Budget High Rollers on YouTube, on Facebook, on everything. Just type in, look, you could even type it in on Google. Also, a lot of people call me Filthy and everything. I've gone by, originally it was Filthy Slot Channel, so you could probably type in Filthy and be careful what you type in. But yeah, no, it should pull us up.
That's awesome. Well, Steve from Low Budget High Rollers, thank you so much for being on, and we're excited to continue to watch you grow. I mean, you guys are on fire.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No, we got to do this again soon.
Absolutely.